friends, my name is Rich and welcome to Greatest Rock and Metal. On Greatest Rock and Metal I talk about what are for me the greatest rock and metal albums, bands, gigs of all time, based on me listening to thousands of albums and going to hundreds of gigs over many years. Please press the red button to subscribe to the channel. It's free, it's easy to do, and it will only take a few moments. I'd be very grateful. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching today. Today is an album review, and the album I am going to review is by Rob Zombie, and it is his new album. This one here, titled The Lunar Injection. Rob Zombie album titles and some of the song titles are just ridiculous in their length and in terms of the words used. Let me try again. The Lunar Injection, Kool-Aid Eclipse Conspiracy. What does all that mean? Who fucking knows? And in fact, I watched an interview with Zombie recently where he was asked about the album title and what it all means, and his answer was pretty much, who fucking knows? No, that's not true. He tried to explain it, but really he said it's kind of whatever you want it to be. And that goes for all of the song titles and the lyrics on Rob Zombie albums. You don't sit there and study them. You just enjoy them. He puts words together that maybe don't go together. He says things that just flow with the melody. It doesn't matter. It's just great, fun, metal music. And as you can see, I am a Rob Zombie fan. I've followed Rob Zombie right from the beginning. Zombie was a founder member of the band White Zombie, which he formed in 1995. And I've got White Zombie. I've got all the White Zombie and Rob Zombie stuff. And this is his latest, his 7th studio album, and his first studio album in 5 years. He formed Rob Zombie band, no, that's his name, solo. He went solo in 1998 after they broke up White Zombie band, which was an unusual decision because they just had an extremely successful album with this one here, Astro Creep 2000, and I guess he thought, well, he was the main songwriter and lyricist, and he felt he could go it alone. So he released his first solo album, Hellbilly Deluxe, and it was extremely successful. And within a few months of that, they announced the end of White Zombie and that he was going to just go it alone. This has ended up being a triple platinum album. Very, very successful album, and Rob Zombie has had a very successful career. What else could I say about it? This album is produced by a man named Zeus. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. He's been involved with Rob Zombie for quite a while now, ever since the Venomous Rat album. Again, where's that one? Over there. Got another long title. I'll just call it Venomous Rat. Back in 2013, I think that was. And the band for this album, Rob Zombie himself, and legendary guitarist, John Five, who's previously played with the likes of David Lee Roth and Marilyn Manson, and he's been in the Rob Zombie band now for quite a while. As has bassist Piggy D and drummer Ginger Fish. So that's the main band who play on this album. Also, interestingly, and I can't tell you on which tracks, legendary drummer Josh Freese, who's played with many bands, also plays on some of the tracks as well for drumming. So that's the band for the album. Songs are written by Zombie, John Five, and Zeus. They write all of the songs. And what an album. I'm going to say right from the beginning, this is a great album within Rob Zombie's discography. Let's have a look at this edition of the album. This is the vinyl, or one of several vinyl editions. His record label is Nuclear Blast. And we've seen in recent years with Nuclear Blast record label, great record label, got many great bands on there, that they always do a lot of coloured vinyl editions now of things. This is one of the allegedly limited to only 300 copies. Beautifully produced. If there's any reason to get into vinyl again, Rob Zombie is the reason. The artwork that he creates himself is just fantastic. So the album cover, it's got a kind of feel to it. It's almost that recycled paper feel, if you know what I mean. Probably is recycled paper, but if it is, it doesn't make a deal of it anywhere. And so you've got the great, very colourful album cover. As you can see, colour is something that Rob Zombie is not afraid to shout about. All this stuff very colourful. Gatefold. You've got a collage of the band members there. And then the back of the album with these ridiculously long, in some cases, song titles. Then inside, the coloured vinyl edition I have got, as I say, allegedly limited to 300 copies, is called a mint splatter vinyl. A great label in the middle there of just Zombie looking out at the crowd. 180 gram vinyl, very, very nice. Sounds fantastic, really blast the speakers on this one. And what I also love about this is the booklet. This booklet is superb. Album cover again, and it's just basically, I won't go through it all, but I'll give you a feel for it. It's basically the normal, those of you who know Rob Zombie, the normal Rob Zombie style, lots and lots of colourful artwork around the lyrics for the songs, and the artwork normally is a representation of the story that's going on in the songs. Great stuff. In fact, I will quickly go through it all because it really is brilliant to get things like this in albums. It just doesn't work in a CD because these things, they need to be seen at a much larger size, and it certainly does not work as a downloaded PDF on your phone. Hate those. Hate it. Sorry for those of you who are into the streaming and the digital files, but okay, I have them on my phone, but not the album artworks, but on my phone. But do have the MP3s for convenience, but it's just not the same as this brilliant kind of presentation. So, what about the album? Before I talk about the album itself, let's take a quick look at rock t-shirts by the sea. Okay, before we look at the album, I just want to correct myself. I've got a feeling that I said that White Zombie were formed in 1995. It was 1985 that the band White Zombie were formed. So sorry if I made an error there. and I think I said they broke up in 1998, which is correct. I know some of you out there get very upset if I say the wrong dates, so important I correct myself, and rightly so. If I'm going to talk about rock and metal, I should know about rock and metal. Okay, so the Lunar Injection Kool-Aid Eclipse Conspiracy album. I mentioned earlier how great an album this is. In my opinion, it's Rob Zombie's best. Now, I've followed the band, as I said before, for a long time. He is brilliant at producing what I call single type songs. And going to a Rob Zombie live show is always awesome because you know you're just going to be bombarded with great track after great track, because he can obviously pick the best track from his what's a pretty substantial discography now. This is going to be a tough one because he's got, for the first time I think, he's got an album that has no filler on it at all. Every single track on here is fantastic. And I think one of the contributing factors to that is that the musical palette seems to have been broadened a little bit more. And I think, and I'm only guessing here, I think a lot of that will have to do with John 5. John 5's solo career in the past five years has really exploded. He's become very popular as a solo artist, and he only plays instrumentals as his solo career. But John 5 is an amazing guitarist. He can write and play in many different musical styles, and I think Rob Zombie has allowed more of that to penetrate into this album than many of the past ones that have pretty much in the past most of the time stuck to the kind of industrial metal blueprint. Here, the introduction of more musical styles, still within the framework of the industrial metal sound, has created a brilliant album. And also, I think as well, Zombie himself has created a lot more consistent melodies across all of the songs here. Every single one of these you can kind of sing or bop along to, no problem, and very memorable, which is always the key for me. So, when you've heard about in fact, interviews with John 5 for a few years now, because this album's been in the can for a few years, again delayed by COVID, and John 5's talked in interviews about how great an album it was, and okay, he's got to do that, he's got to hype up his own band, or a band for which he's a member of, but my God, he's not wrong. Great album. And picking just my favourite 4 from this album was a tough call. And so here we go. The first track I would choose is kind of like the opening track on the album. Now, for those of you who don't know about Rob Zombie albums, he has a lot of short musical interludes, soundscapes across his album. So the official opening track is Expanding the Head of Zed, which is kind of a musical sampled. He also has lots of sampled speeches and clips from horror movies and various other movies within his albums. So the Expanding the Head of Zed is the introduction to the big opening track, which is The Triumph of King Freak, a Crypt of Preservation and Superstition. I just call it King Freak. And that is the main vocal within the song, King Freak. Great opening track, big riff, strong metal, great drumming from Gingerfish or Josh Fresh, don't know which one, don't care, it's just fantastic. Well, great song to start the album with. I think it was the first video released from the album as well. I'm not sure about that. Don't quote me on it and get angry. And great video, great opening track, highly recommended, and gets you into the yay! Rob Zombie's back! And then he's back with the third track on the album, which is also one of my favourites, the Ballad of Sleazy Rider. Brilliant chorus on this one, absolutely brilliant. Again, I talked about his lyrics and how sometimes they don't mean anything. You've got a lyrical refrain in there, Rama Lama, Lama Lama Loo, and then into the chorus. My name is Sleazy Rider Man, and I'm the space motherfucking boogeyman. That's part of it anyway. Great stuff. Love it, love it, love it. It really is a great sing-along song here. And John 5's guitar work on it. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And in fact, one of my only criticisms of this album, in fact the only criticism of this album I have, is I'd love to have heard a lot more of John 5 solos in there. Now, industrial metal generally doesn't have a huge amount of guitar soloing in it. Not like your Metallica style metal where Kirk Hammett will be able to blast in some big guitar solos. It'd have been great to have heard just a little bit more solo work from John 5 on this album. But what we do get from John 5 is some of his best playing as well, in my opinion. Okay, the next track I am going to choose, another very, very long title. 18th Century Cannibals, Excitable Morlocks, and a one-way ticket on the Ghost Train. What is a Morlock? I have no fucking idea what a Morlock is. Google it and tell me. Love this track. Now, I talked about different musical styles. In his solo career, John 5 has played quite a bit of bluegrass style of music, banjo, finger-picking style guitar work. And here we have bluegrass music, zombie style, and it's fantastic. It's you've got zombie kind of almost rapping the lyrics on the verses for this, before we then go into a big metal shouted out chorus. Get aboard the ghost train. Absolutely we will. Great song. I love the contrast of the bluegrass and then the big metal chorus. Well done, well done. Great track. And then the fourth track I would choose on here is Shake Your Ass, Smoke Your Grass. Pretty simple to work out what the lyrics are on this one, the meaning behind the lyrics on this one. You get up there and dance and smoke some weed, and it's just a fun song. The drumming has kind of got a Marilyn Manson "Beautiful People" kind of beat to it. Got a big riff for the chorus, and again, great John 5 guitar work on here and solo. Just wait a bit more of it. But whatever. I'll get my John 5 solo albums out and just listen to his work there. This is a Rob Zombie album, and a great Rob Zombie album. Now, I could have picked some other brilliant tracks on here. It's really tough because things like, the next track after Shake Your Ass, boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 the witch is in the room. I love it. Very catchy. And again, great guitar work from John 5. It's got the spooky horror kind of feel to it. I could have picked that track. I kind of just did. Another track on here that's really good is Shadow of the Cemetery Man. I could go through many here. Eternal Struggle of the Howling Man. I gotta stop. Get this album. If you like metal, get it. If you like great guitar work, get it. If you just want to have a fun album in your collection, get it. Well done, Rob Zombie and the Rob Zombie Band. Thank you very much for producing this. It put a smile on my face every time I listen to it. I love it. That is my review of the new Rob Zombie album. Thank you very much for watching. Please press the red button to subscribe to the channel. Easy to do and free. And as always, remember guys, we rock!